HMS K-13. On January 29, 1917, in an open sea lake in the Scottish Council area Argyll and Bute, the submarine HMS K-13 was undergoing trials. There were 80 people on board, including the commander of the sister ship K-14, Commander Goodhart. During a morning dive, a small leak was discovered in the boiler rooms, so another dive was scheduled for the afternoon. The boiler room vents were opened to clear steam to aid in searching for the leaks. The K-13 dived that afternoon after the engine room was confirmed to be shut off. Despite this, as she dived, seawater entered the engine room. The commanding officer, Lieutenant Commander Godfrey Herbert, ordered watertight doors to be shut and ballast tanks, or compartments that hold water, to be blown to get the submarine back up to surface. But the dive could not be stopped and the K-13 was stuck at the bottom of the lake. The crew of another submarine noticed that the K-13's dive did not look right and raised the alarm. The torpedo gunboat called Gossamer searched for K-13 using grapples. The Gossamer had a diving suit but no diver, and the diver that arrived nearly drowned since that suit had not been used in years and burst. Commanders Herbert and Goodhart tried escaping through the space in the conning tower, or the raised platform of a submarine. Herbert was successful in reaching the surface, but Goodhart was later found dead in the wheelhouse. On the surface, Herbert coordinated rescue efforts and an airline was connected later that afternoon, allowing the ballast tanks to be blown. By midday on the 31st, the bows brought up to just above the surface and a hole was cut through the pressure hull. 48 of the people on board were rescued, while the remaining 32 died. The K-13 sank again later that day and was finally salvaged on the 15th of March, being repaired and recommissioned as HMS K-22. An investigation found that 4 ventilators and the engine room hatch had been left open during the dive, and the control room's indicator lever showed the ventilators as open. The ship's company erected a monument to those who died in the sinking at Fastlane Cemetery, where their war graves are located. On September 10, 1961, a memorial was unveiled in Carlingford, New South Wales, Australia, by the widow of Charles Freestone, a survivor of the sinking who emigrated to Australia. USS Squalus. On May 23, 1939, in the Isles of Shoals, a group of small islands off the United States East Coast, the USS Squalus went down for a test dive. The main induction valve, which lets in fresh air when on the surface, failed. This resulted in flooding of the aft torpedo room, both engine rooms, and the crew's quarters. 26 men drowned immediately, leaving 33 survivors on board. After the Squalus bottomed in 74 meters of water, it was located by her sister boat, Sculpin. Both submarines used a telephone marker buoy to communicate until the cable snapped. Using the new McCann Submarine Rescue Chamber, a device used to rescue submariners from a downed submarine, divers from the submarine rescue ship Falcon began rescue operations under the direction of Lieutenant Commander Charles B. Swede Momsen, a salvage and rescue expert. The divers successfully avoided the cognitive impairment symptoms associated with such deep dives, utilizing recently developed diving schedules with heliox, or a breathing gas mixture of helium and oxygen. The divers rescued all 33 survivors from the sunken Squalus, with 4 enlisted divers earning the Medal of Honor. The Squalus was eventually raised and salvaged, getting the new name USS Sailfish in February 1940. Pisces III. On August 29, 1973, in the Celtic Sea 150 miles off Ireland, the Canadian deep-sea submersible Pisces III was being used by pilots Roger Mallinson and Roger Chapman to lay transatlantic telephone cable on the seabed at a depth of 1,575 feet. When the submersible was about to be lifted to the surface with a tow line, the tow line entangled and wrenched open the hatch for the aft sphere, a self-contained part of the submersible which contained machinery and oil storage. Water flooded the aft sphere and the Pisces became inverted and began to sink, with the tow line's rope snapping. On the seabed, Mallinson and Chapman reviewed their surroundings and called the mothership. They had 64 hours of oxygen left and had to preserve it by making little movement and not talking. Initial rescue attempts were made with sister submersibles Pisces II and Pisces V, but they failed due to broken ropes and loss of power. Pisces II deployed again early on the 1st of September and successfully attached a toggle and tow rope to the rear of the Pisces III. The Curve 3, a remotely operated underwater vehicle sent by the United States Navy, joined the operation, fastening another tow rope to the Pisces III. Lifting began at 10:50 a.m. At 100 feet, divers attached heavier lifting cables, and at 1:17 p.m., Pisces III broke through the surface. It took nearly 30 minutes to open the hatch to let in fresh air and for Mallinson and Chapman to get out, but they struggled to leave after being confined for a total of 84 hours and 30 minutes. Both of the crew survived with only 12 minutes of oxygen remaining. AS-28. On August 5, 2005, the Russian deep submergence rescue vehicle AS-28 became entangled with the aerial of an array of hydrophones, which are microphones for underwater use, off the coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula. The submarine's propeller was snared in cables, causing it to sink to the seafloor at a depth of 620 feet, too deep for the crew of 7 to leave and swim to the surface. Russian tugboats MB-105 and KIL-168 tried lifting the AS-28 to the surface using cables, but this attempt failed. The United Kingdom sent a remotely operated vehicle known as the Scorpio 45 to find the submarine and cut away the cables. This was a success as the AS-28 surfaced on the 7th of August and all 7 crew members exited the vehicle with only up to 6 hours of oxygen remaining, conserving energy by shutting off all non-essential systems and resting. Thanks for watching.